everybody. Welcome to another episode of Straight Talk, No BS. It's your girl, Chris.
And Andrea.
And today we're going to talk about if you would stay with your partner if they were incarcerated. And I don't know. I have my opinion on this. I have a long list of opinions, but I'm going to let Len start and share her opinion first. What do you think, Len? What would you do?
It all depends. It all depends on the offense. That's what I have to say. I mean, there's some offenses that are deal breakers. It all depends on if we're just dating, if you're my husband, but it basically, it all stems down, it all revolves around what was the crime? What was the offense? What did you do? I would hope I'm never in a position like that to have to visit you while you're incarcerated. You know, that's not a place I like to go visit someone I'm in love with. Just put that out there. I'm not built like that personally. If you're my husband and something happened where you're protecting the family, then yes, absolutely. If you are just somebody I'm dating and you get found guilty of anything illegal. Illegal means, let's see, money laundering, embezzlement, drugs, anything of a sexual nature with proof, rape, molestation, anything like that, harassment, or anything to do with children, absolute no.
I would imagine that you would be incarcerated for doing something illegal. 90% of the time, I would say. There are people who are incarcerated for no reason. And people are in there for small offenses that with longer sentences, but you would imagine that they would be there for something illegal. So you would be okay with someone doing something illegal and being with you.
What? Say that again.
So you're saying that you're okay with someone doing something illegal and you still be?
Hell no.
That's what people go to jail for doing things illegal.
No, listen, first of all, I'm not dating anyone that does anything illegal. Listen, I love my freedom. I would never, ever date anyone that's doing anything illegal. If I ever found out they're doing something illegal, I'm sorry. Not how I'm worked too hard in my life to be where I am to even deal with that. I'm not even going to take it a chance or a risk even any of that even come in my direction. So that's just out there in the universe. That's not going to happen. And if I found out that you were and I was dating you, I'm going to dump you. I'm going to cut you off because I'm not prepared to take that chance and take that risk of me having to get in trouble with you. I'm not doing that. I'm not doing it. Mm-hmm. I'm ready to raise my kids. I'm in the second half of my life. I don't have time for that. I personally am not interested in anything that doesn't cause me or could possibly cause me my freedom. That's a no. Now, if I was married to my husband,
what about because young Len was out there.
Listen, young Len back then. Yes,
young Len wasn't saying this right here.
No, well, young Len, I could say that I dated maybe two, I would say, undesirable gentlemen.
Undesirable.
Yeah, undesirable. I would say undesirable.
Okay.
But again, it was all learning lesson. I've dated your rich guys. I've dated your street. I've dated the white collar, blue collar, all of that. But I know what's not for me, and that lifestyle is not for me. That rough and ready and street and all that, that's not my cup of tea. Tried it, done it, we all have, not my cup of tea. I don't choose to. I know what the end result would be. I don't want to deal with that. I don't want that for my children. I don't want to be around it. I'm just done. I don't have the time for that. I value my freedom. I value it. Back in when you're in your teens and 20s, young women, that there is exciting to date like a bad boy or a roughneck, what they were called back in the day. It's exciting. As a woman and a responsible woman, that's not exciting anymore. That's dangerous. There's no other way to put it, because with that comes other nonsense. And I am not a ride or die chick. I know some girls are. If I'm married and my husband has proven to me and we have a strong communication and morals and values and whatnot, then yes, I would support my husband. And if my husband, something happened, meaning that he was defending his family, meaning we happen to be somewhere and someone attacks us or attacks my children, and in self-defense, he may happen to injure or kill someone, and he gets found guilty, yes, I will go visit him and make sure the money is commissary and whatnot and make sure he's straight. I will do that. Anything else? No, I'm not. I'm just not doing it.
No. You know, I have to agree with that. Like if you are dating someone and you know that they are mixed up with something or someone that does something illegal, then of course you have to assume that there will be consequences, or that there could potentially be consequences that could involve you, right? So if you're not ready to sit there and say or be quote unquote a ride or die, then you need to get out of that relationship, right? Don't wait till shit hits the fan and be like, oh shit, my man's in jail. Now what do I do? Nah.
Exactly.
You should have been had that plan, or you should have been had that thought once you found out or knew that he or she was involved with something illegal. Period.
And it's crazy because there are thousands or millions of men worldwide that are incarcerated doing time. There are so many men doing time for all types of offenses. We know that. And you would see just as many women as loyal as ever, ride or dying. They are at these jails every week. They're putting money on their books. They're sending foods, packages, you name it, everything you could possibly think of. And I used to always wonder, if the roles were reversed, will the man hold on the women how these women held on the men? If the roles were reversed, because when these men get incarcerated, the women, they go celibate, they're loyal, they're busting the tail to keep their family together. They are now the strength of the family. They are making sure that not only are they keeping their family together, that the man that's incarcerated, no matter what the crime is, they are loyal. They are loyal.
I know one person that I know one person personally, yes, that held his woman down when she was locked up. And she was locked up for fighting.
That was Papoose? That's what you're talking about?
No, girl, I don't know him personally. No. Oh. Somebody I knew personally, yes. But from a different part of my life. It was when I was very, very young. And he did hold his girlfriend down. They weren't even married yet. But she did go to jail for fighting. But she was fighting over him in the streets. But, she did go to jail for 2 years for beating up the girl terribly. And he did stay and hold her down. So it's a possibility that it could happen. But also, I do watch this show on TV called Love After Lockup. And I love that show. Let me tell you, that show, it really shows both sides of the story, whether it's male or female. They show that the male, seeking out women that are in jail and taking care of them and put money in their books and waiting for them, holding them down. And to the point where they're using sex toys, girl, trying to wait for their woman to come home from jail just as much as the men do, when they have their woman outside doing the same exact thing. You know what I mean? So, I do see it. It's not as often.
When a person's incarcerated, whether it be male or female, they have all the time in the world to tell you everything you need to hear. They are not going anywhere.
Oh, yeah.
So that's when they're on the phone and they are telling you how much they love you. When they get out, they're going to marry you, how they want to start a family with you. They promise you the world. And what do the women and men on the other end of their line, on the other end of that phone, what do? Send money, they go visit, they send packages, they do everything. People that's incarcerated would sell you a dream. They have nothing else to do. They'll be the most loyal person in the world. You feel so special. But all it is just a game, because as soon as they get out and they get a taste of freedom, they'll be around for you for maybe like a month or two. Some may stay longer. Some really do mean what they say, but majority of them, they are going. They're just using you. In my opinion, I feel a high percentage of them are just using the people on they're using the people on the outside just so that they can cater to them while they're on the inside. That's unfair. But love, you can find love anywhere though.
Some of them, they want love too. Some of them, they're looking for that. They want attention. They want somebody to give them that hope that when they do come home from jail, that there is hope for them out there.
You know what? And yes, some may want that, but I would like to know what's the percentage of inmates that get released that actually do go on and marry the person they said they're going to marry, start a family, and do the right thing. I would like to know what's the percentage of that. Because from my understanding,
honestly, I don't even care what the percentage is, because that's around this damn world.
Crazy.
There's men and women out here free as day doing the same shit.
Exactly. But my point is that, I know we as women, we love love. I love love. I love being in love. I love heart. I love it. We all do. Women are very emotional creatures and we love loving. Now, some of us love the wrong people. Some of us are devoted and loyal to the wrong people. It happens. But when the person you love is incarcerated, how much can they give you as far as attention besides a phone call? Besides, send you a little card, send you a little note. They promise you the world. And when you are lonely as a female or man, when you're lonely, yes, I can understand how they receive these little notes and phone calls, makes them feel important and special, especially if they're not used to receiving love. But then when the individuals do get released, if they get released, what happens? The same people that was loyal to them for years, I'm talking about years, they end up leaving them and dumping them, and then they're hurt all over again. It's like a repeated cycle, just keeps going on and on and on. No, I don't know. I know personally for me, I'm not built like that. I have no interest. The only way I will is if I'm married to my husband and the circumstances was that I feel he is protecting his family and whatnot, then yes, I would. Anything else, I'm not putting myself in any type of harm's way, anything illegal. I have no interest. I don't have the time for that. I'm not looking over my shoulder for anything or anybody. I'm not doing it.
I commend you for that. I respect it. For me, on the other hand, it really comes down to like matters of the heart at the end of the day, because there are people who are so in love and so happy that it doesn't matter what happens to that partner or that love or that person, that they're going to hold them down no matter what. You know what I mean? If they go to jail to do that, they hold them down no matter what. But
no, bless your heart with that one. I just feel that. No, look, bless her heart. No judgment. I know there are women that are doing that. No, there is no judgment at all.
I do too. I know someone personally right now that girl, they had they man is sentenced to life in prison, and she is adamantly believing that he did not do it, and that could very well be true, that he did not do the crime. But not only is she holding him down, he's been in jail for all these years, and she went and had a kid with him.
You know what?
They love each other. It's love.
Bless her heart. Yes, she loves him. Listen, there is somebody out there for everybody. I do not want to spend the rest of my life where every week I'm driving to go visit a loved one behind bars. I don't want to take I don't ever want, listen, my children are grown now, but I would not be able to, as part of our routine, taking my children to go visit their father in jail, especially if it's something that, I don't know, if it's my husband and he protects us, yes, like I said, yes, but anything else, I just wouldn't be able to. And I know there's a lot of women out there that totally believe something different and opposite to what I believe, that will hold their man down. And I give them all the strength. I give them all the blessings in the world. I just personally, I can't do it. And I wouldn't want that on my son. I wouldn't want that on my daughter. I just don't. I want them to enjoy life, I just feel that it kind of,
what does that mean, enjoy life? Like, they can still enjoy life. To some people, having that love, it fulfills them. It fills their heart. So it does, like, to what you call enjoy life doesn't mean that's what somebody else calls enjoy life.
Freedom is the most, freedom for me is priceless. Me being able to wake up every day and do whatever I want, go wherever I want, travel wherever I want. For me, that is the ultimate prize. For me now to take my freedom and now go visit someone I think I love, that's not even a husband enough like that, to go visit him and work 5 days a week, 7 days a week, put money as commissary. And part of my routine now is my freedom and ability to do whatever I want now is being loyal to someone that's incarcerated. No, I'm not doing that. I want to be able to have travel destinations on one. I'm not doing that.
So here's the thing. So I went and I found some questions online, right, about just to hear some other people's opinions on dating people that's in prison. And there's a lot of people that put questions out there on this platform, Quora, Quora. And literally all I put in there was like dating someone in prison. And one person put, can a guy in prison really love you? And there's like 100 different replies. The most popular response was, yes, he can. So I'm going to read it out for you guys so you guys can listen to it. So the question was, can a guy in prison really love you? And someone answered, yes, he can love you, and love you in a way many a free man cannot. You can quite easily become his obsession, the one thing he knows he can think about that has nothing whatsoever to do with prison. I have seen some guys get out and actually marry the woman they fell in love with while in prison. But I have seen far more do everything in their power to scam, cheat, and yes, even steal from their outside woman while they continue with 2 or 3 more going for the same thing. So if all he asks is that you communicate with him, be that via writing letters or via phone call that he pays for at least part of the time, you may have a keeper. Just please be careful, as there are many scammers in prison as there are online, if not more. Okay.
See? Yep.
No, I agree with you, but he's saying that there's 2 different type of people in prison. There's ones that are scammers, and there are ones that actually want that attention.
Very small percentage of love. Very small percentage of the later. Very small percentage of that. All
right. So here's another one. This one was, the question was, how long would you wait for your boyfriend while in prison? This lady answers, my husband has been incarcerated for 26 years. We've been together for 34. While I certainly don't condone crime, he was completely over-sentenced. It should have been a 7 to 10 year sentence, and the judge gave him 50 to 75 years. He actually wanted me to divorce him and move on with my life. That, for me, was not an option. He is the same man I married. He simply made a poor judgment call and has paid dearly for it. So me personally, I will wait however long it takes, but I'm sure that's not the popular answer.
What was the crime about that one? What was the crime?
She didn't say the crime. She said that he made a poor judgment call and has paid dearly for it. And the judge gave him 50 to 75 years on a crime that should have been at least 7 years.
I can't answer that until I know the crime. I need to know what that crime is, because if that judge gave 50 to 70, that's something heavy and serious.
No, it's not. It's a crime. It's not, because if she said that the crime equates to 7 years, that's
but like she didn't say the crime. Then why not say the crime?
That's like a misdemeanor, right?
Yeah,
where you do a minimum of 7 years to go into. That's a misdemeanor.
No, but no, that's her opinion. No, she hasn't said exactly what the offense is. Did he rob a bank and shoot the security guard?
Well, that's not 7 years. Robbing a bank ain't 7 years. Shooting somebody ain't 7 years.
She said, in her opinion, she said he got more time or overtime than he should have gotten. He should have gotten 7 to 10. So my question is, if I can even answer that, is what exactly was the crime? Let me know the crime, and I can tell you if he did or not. And if he did, then she or him needs to petition or go ahead and hire another lawyer and have a retrial. If that's the case, what's the crime?
But it's not that easy, and it's not that cheap. It's not to say that so easily like that. Oh yeah, go get a retrial. Go get a new lawyer. Nah, people don't have.
Don't do the crime. Then don't put yourself in a situation where you have to get a lawyer and you have to have this situation like this. That's what I'm saying.
That's also not easy to say either. People can. There are many people like you and me, okay, of African American descent that could clearly be driving a car with unregistered registration license, not knowing that you must have missed a payment and insurance going to be canceled your insurance. And you drive without insurance, you get pulled over. Now you're in jail for 5 years. Simple shit like that. Okay, so an offense that could put you in jail for a year or 6 months, the judge decided to put you in for 5 years.
But that same person who has elapsed, they're going to get a notice from the insurance company saying you've missed the payment. Then you let us go from white to pink and say how you haven't missed you missed your insurance payment.
Len,
They send you at least 2 or 3 times.
you being too specific. Things happen. People make mistakes.
I understand that. I do. I truly understand that. But I feel that as an adult, and this is just me, and maybe this is how I'm looking at it because this is how I operate. But I feel as an adult, you have a responsibility to be responsible. Do you know, listen, being a single parent alone has you triggered. Do you know, being a single parent, how many times single parents get tested and they have 3 to 5 seconds to make a decision that can ultimately affect the rest of not just their life, their children's life?
Absolutely.
And they have to be responsible not to make that decision. They have to pull whatever rage or whatever disappointment that they're going through. They have that 3 to 5 seconds to decide, do I react? Even though some situations may make you feel good if you react, but by you reacting, the bigger picture is for that 1 minute, for that 5-second misjudgment and you react, could then turn around and be a domino effect that affects you. You're now being removed from your children. You're now in jail. Who knows who's raising your kids for what?
All right, listen to this.
In jail, but when you're sitting in jail, whose fault is it? The person who got you upset? No.
It's your fault. But listen to this, Len, because you have to put yourself in the exact same shoes that you just said. I know you yourself would go through no end to defend your children. No end. Okay. So, and same here. I've cursed out kids for my kid. So I know for a fact that if an adult came at your kid incorrectly, you're gonna press them. You're gonna curse them out. You're gonna stand up for your kid. You're not gonna sit there and be like, oh, let me call the police on that person. No, you're gonna react. You're gonna react. And then after you react, then what? Then what? What if that person called the cops on you because you reacted to defending your child? Now you're sitting in jail.
I have defended my children before. I have stood in front. I have been in situations. I can give you 2 examples. One example tonight was at a fair.
I know.
And I was him and her brother was him. And we got this frantic call. My son got a call from one of his friends telling him that there was about 4 or 5 girls that was trying to jump my daughter. And my son's friends were in the middle stopping it from happening. And my son was taking a shower. I was relaxing. She was in about maybe 5 to 8 minutes from us. And when we both frantically, he was still wet, just about dressed. I was looking a hot mess. We ran out that house, no shoes or nothing, and went to my daughter's aid. When I got there, I see these young ladies, just being polite, young ladies. And they were as disrespectful as you can possibly think. They were just disrespectful. And I did have a few seconds to either curse them out like grown women, how they were acting, or remove my daughter from that situation for things escalate. And I chose to remove my daughter and step in front of her and put her in the car to safety first. I made that decision. And then when I got home, the same young ladies followed us, but I knew where one of them stayed. And at that moment, I was so enraged over the fact that they had the audacity to even follow us that I knew where the young lady stayed. And at that moment, she was going on and on and on and on. And I did go and knock on the young lady's door, and her mother was there. And I asked the mother, can you please talk to your daughter? Because this is what transpired. I don't want it to escalate further, but I'm coming to you as a parent because you can obviously see they're right here. And I don't want to bring this into my home because now when you come into my property, it's a different ball game. And that mother, exact words to me were, well, if your daughter can't fight, what am I supposed to do? At that very moment, I had an out-of-body experience. Because you know why? I did the right thing. And I did say to that mother, I said, excuse me, I didn't hear you. Because I needed her to say that to me one more time. And then I did say to her, I want to make sure you understand the words that's about to come out of my mouth. If your child touches my child, I cannot touch your child, but I can touch you. Do you understand what I'm saying to you? If your child assaults my child, and I'm come to you as a mature adult, it's going to be a problem, because me being a mature woman now is not going to happen. And then I said, you know what? I apologize for saying that. Let me step back and call the police. And I called the police. Because at that very moment, my first reaction was, I cannot stand there and see my daughter get jumped by some young ladies. I'm not going to do that. And for a brief moment, I wanted to drag that mother, because she was just as ghetto as the rest of them. But then I said, no, Leon, you got way too much to lose to lower your standards for an argument over something like this. Just call the police. And I did. And the police came. I told them exactly what transpired. And that's why from that day on, I remembered how that made me feel. And when I say to anybody, I'll call 911. Unfortunately, don't put me in that situation, because I don't want to have to choose between calling 911 or putting myself in a situation where I can possibly catch a case. I'm not prepared to catch a case for anything that can be prevented. I'm not. I will call the police. And when it comes to my children are fully aware of my reactions. And I always tell them, if you can avoid, avoid. If you can't avoid.
So I get that story, right? But you just off the fact that you went to that lady's house and knocked on her door, and
not angry. I wasn't angry.
You threatened her. You still threatened her. She could have called the cops on you. You could have been put in handcuffs.
She could have. She very well could have.
So then what?
But listen, I don't lie. When the police came, I told them, I said, officer, this is what transpired. And now these young ladies are on the block coming to my house. I do not want to put myself in a situation to have to defend my daughter and put my hands on anybody's child. I don't agree with that. I did the right thing. I did not know this woman's phone number, but I knocked on her door and asked her, can she please come and control her daughter and her clique? Her exact words to me was this. And officer, I did say to her, if your children assault my daughter, I'm going to have a huge problem. And I told him exactly what I said. And I told him I was wrong for saying that. I really was. But I'm not about to have anyone come on my property. I'm not about to have anyone come on my property and try to assault any of my children. And I don't want to have to assault or put my hands on anybody else's child. But I was very honest and told him.
Yeah, but Len, what I'm saying is that could have went completely wrong, though. That could have went completely left.
Yeah.
She could have came out. She could have came out with a weapon and swung it at you. You could have beat her ass, and then you would. What I'm saying is that people go through those situations. You just like how you just said you had an out of body experience in that very moment.
I did.
Yeah, but so some people can't reel it back as quickly as you did. It doesn't happen as quickly for other people. So they may have an out of body experience and it may last longer than yours did. And they wake up or snap out of it and they beating somebody's ass. Okay? Yeah. See what I'm saying?
Which is true, because everyone reacts to situations differently. I don't feel every action needs a reaction to it. I know for myself, I'm extremely disciplined when it comes to reacting. I've had to train myself to be in control of my reactions. And you know that for a fact. I'm very disciplined when it comes to my reactions. I do not react. I'm always thinking outside the box. I'm always thinking of the bigger picture. Because for me, and this came, and we spoke about it before in the last episode, it comes from being a single parent. I refuse to let anyone have any control over me that will hinder me from being a mother or being present for my children. It's nothing in this world that will make me react to the point where I'm not here for my children. If you harm my kids, we'll revisit this conversation.
I know that's right.
I don't know how I react. And that's being honest. If you physically harm my kids, I don't know how I will react, especially if it's an intentional action. That's different. But my children know where I stand. My children know my position, their position. And I have taught them as well about sometimes when you pop all that popping off and reacting and popping off, it can get you in a lot of trouble. Even if someone triggered you, provoked you, aggravated you, people don't care about what started situations. People care how it was finished. Someone can pop off at you, spit on you, poke you, and actually push you. And if you drag them and split their head wide open, what's going to happen? Someone may actually say or accuse you, the court or the police may say, no, okay, yes, we know they assaulted you, but you used excessive force when it came back to them. See what I'm saying? So it was kind of like a fine line on how you react. If someone pushes you, does not mean you got the gun and shoot them. That's excessive.
Yeah.
That's excessive. So I know for myself, I'm extremely disciplined. And listen, raising two Black children as a single parent, you are challenged a lot of times. A lot of times you are challenged. Being a Black woman, get into situations where people feel you don't belong or should not belong or you should not have a voice, is very challenging.
Amen.
When you speak and they don't expect you to speak a certain way, or they make assumptions that most Black people are uneducated or ghetto, which is, listen, can't help people how they may think. We're not. There are a lot of Black people that are extremely educated, that know how to talk, that are not angry Black men or angry Black women. We're not. The misconception is people automatically assume that, which is unfortunate. When you're a single mother, people for some reason either have pity for you, they feel sorry for you, or they assume if you're a Black woman, you're a single parent, you must be either ghetto, poor, or broke. That's not the case. It's not. Or they assume you're uneducated. That's not the case. So as a parent, I've had my many challenges when it comes to being a single parent, having to stand on my own 2 feet and defend and be vocal of many causes. And I would, it is what it is life. It's life. But there are also a lot of women out there that are not as disciplined and may handle situations in an unfavorable way than I would. You know what I'm saying? They may pop off. I'm not to pop off. Listen, I don't pop off. I don't pop off. Back in the day, maybe, but I don't do all that.
Child, I do. And that's my problem. That's why I made a vow to myself to try not to pop off anymore, because, something happened recently where I live, where I couldn't control myself. Someone was disrespecting me terribly. And a young man called me out my name, and I just, even though I have people that's going to protect me, I have my son, I have my boyfriend, I just didn't care. I reacted in a way where it was almost like, yeah.
Which is normal. Some days happen.
I had to reel it back. I had to really back and just say, like, I can't react that way, because that person could have had a weapon and I would have lost my life. So that taught me a lesson that not every situation I need to react to. I learned that there's other ways to handle a given situation, and know that I was not physical with this person. I did not throw anything or threaten this person. It just almost became physical. And I know that there's better ways to handle things as an adult. And no matter what, no one should push you to that limit, right? I have to control me. I can't control that person, but I have to control me. And it's something that I am still working on to this day, to be honest with you, because people do test you. People do try you. People do push your buttons. So for me, I learned a valuable lesson last year with that situation. I'm going to work on no longer popping off, but I would say that, I'm very in favor of this quote, and it's to each his own. If you want to love who you want to love and you want to be with who you want to be with, then go ahead and do that. If you don't want to be with them or you don't feel like it's going to work out, then go ahead and not do that. But I don't think anyone should be judged for how they handle certain situations or how they love somebody, right? Now, not to say that the judges don't do that when they do something wrong and go to jail and they get a harsher sentence, right? But I just feel like people outside of that shouldn't judge them.
And they shouldn't.
They want to be.
And I agree with that I agree with what you said. You know, I don't judge anybody. Whatever you choose to do is what you do. I live my life how I choose to live mine. You live your life how you choose to live yours. You know, that's how I look at it. You know, I would just say to
Exactly.
anybody, however you choose to live your life, live it. You know, I know for me, listen, we've all been young. I have my teens, my 20s. You know, we've all done things, dated people, been through our situations. But as you get older, you mature, you see what's important to you, you see what you value. I value family. I value family. I value my freedom. That's bottom line. I do.
100%.
And
Yeah.
for me, that's the most important thing. It's the reason why I eat, breathe, sleep, wake up every day. I
Hmm.
enjoy that. And anything that hinders my peace of mind, my energy, my vibrations, anything, I just can't be around it. I just can't.
Yeah. Well, you're
You
at
know,
that point now in your life where
I want to be
you
happy.
made that
I've raised, like,
decision.
listen, I've raised
Absolutely.
my kids.
Yeah.
My kids are grown now. You know, I don't have all that responsibility or that weight on my shoulders or there's parent teachers conferences. Jesus, I'm
Hmm.
so glad I got one more year of that. Ugh. But yeah.
No, yeah, no, I completely get it. I do. But for me, would I even stay in a relationship if my partner was incarcerated? Um, I feel like it would depend on how long we've been together, the crime that was committed,
Mhm.
um, and I probably get what if he even did it or not. You know what I'm saying? If he did do it or didn't do it, that would also weigh in on my decision to stay or not stay.
True.
But if he was incarcerated and all the other variables turned out to be in favor of him, as far as he didn't do it, or it was a crime, it was a wrong place, wrong time, or it was him just, being Black in America, or
Mhm.
like he did do something illegal, but it was something that he didn't expect to get caught or whatever it was, I think I would stay, depending on how long it is, of course, but I feel like I would stay in a relationship and be by his side and hold him down. Because I would imagine if when he was out, he was holding me down and taking care of home, taking responsibilities and all that other stuff, then, why would I
Now,
not?
would the length of time determine that? What if he was doing 10 years, 10 to 15?
No, I don't think it would. I don't think it would determine that. If I loved him that deeply, if I knew that he did not do the crime, if I knew that it was the wrong place, wrong, like if I knew all those variables, it wouldn't matter to me.
No,
Like,
okay. I'm not talking about something in that situation. I'm talking about referring to you knew he was out there, I don't know, robbing people, stealing, whatever it is, something that you knew that's what he did. And
oh,
then
I
he
wouldn't
got
be with
caught.
somebody like that. Like
Oh,
I wouldn't be with somebody who's out there robbing people. That because I have morals. I'm not out there doing that. So I can't be with somebody who would do that. You know what I'm saying? Like
exactly.
I have certain standards and self morals. So, but again, I said before, like if you're in that relationship with somebody, if you are dating somebody that's out there doing active criminal activities, then you could only imagine that they will get caught eventually, and you have to decide,
Are
what
you
am I
gonna do
going
the
to do?
time with them? Because
What am I
even though
going to do
you're
if they
on
get
the
caught?
outside,
Do I want to stay? Do I want to leave? What am I going to do?
yeah, because even though they're in the inside locked up, you're on the outside locked up. If you hang around, that's for
If you,
sure.
well, yeah, but you
Yeah.
still have you're not outside locked up now. You still have way more freedom than that person does.
Well, I don't know.
And they're probably in there thinking the opposite, like, yo, she's gonna be out here cheating on me. It's gonna be, it's gonna be guys out there trying to talk to her. Like they're
No,
in.
he should have thought about all of that before he got incarcerated.
But of course, he's not thinking about that. When you're actively doing a crime, or you're actively trying to make a money, or you're actively in a situation where you have an out of body experience, you don't think about those things. Well,
Um,
you could think about that before you decide, let me do this crime. You know what? Let me not do this crime because I love my girl, or I love my man and my family, and I want to be home and free. That's when you should have thought about it.
well, no, every action I've ever made in my entire life, especially being a parent, has always been thought out, and I've always had my children in the back of my mind. So whenever something would trigger me, annoy me, no matter what, no matter how much pressure I'm under, no matter what the situation is, I mean, I'm seeing times I would drop to my knees and cry And ask God to just give me strength where I don't react. And hey, I've done it. I'm at the end of the road, raised them, hey, it's not worth it. And once I get the little cry out and whatnot, I'm back on track. But yeah, listen, I've always, every action I've ever done, I've always had that in the back of my mind. No, Liam, you got the kids, don't react, walk away, go home. And yeah, remove yourself from whatever situation, remove yourself from the situation, go to a happy place, go to the beach, go for a run, go exercise, whatever. And that's what I would do.
Yeah.
I've done it for 21 years and it's worked.
Well, that's good. Because I can honestly say that I haven't done that every single time. I haven't done that. I'm probably not that mature yet in life where I can do those things, but I do put my son first. But if it's something that I'm in a predicament where I have to react quickly, I'm reacting to protect him, to save him, in a sense.
Yeah, always make sure kids.
Whatever that reaction could be, but I'm still working on it. Like I just said, I'm still working on it. Can't be reacting.
I saw the other day, I'm gonna see if I can find this video. I saw the other day, this woman, she had a 15-year-old daughter. She had a baby in her hands, and she might have had maybe a 9-year-old son. And they were going to the pool, and it was an apartment complex. And the little boy was trying to swipe his pass, and the pass wasn't working to open up the gate. And this woman was standing there telling him, well, if your pass doesn't work, you can't come. If your pass don't work, you cannot come in here. And the little boy says to her, you saw me here yesterday. You know who I am. Why are you doing this? And she was arguing with the little boy and everything. And then the little boy opened the gate so his mom could walk through. And she grabbed the child started smacking him and telling him, you can't swim her or something. And then all you hear is the mother say, who your sister? To the older sister. And it must have took everything in her power, but the rage that came over that mother, the rage, you heard it. You can hear it in her voice. She absolutely snapped, but she had enough control not to touch that woman. And she called the police. And I was watching, waiting to see if she's going to just snatch this woman up and just drag her. And she didn't. She walked away. She walked away from the woman. She called the police. She was still cursing, carrying on, but you could tell that she had a moment. You could tell that she had a moment where her initial reaction, where she said, her told your sister, she was about to go in. And she paused. She caught herself. She caught herself and she pulled herself back. She pulled it back in and she called the police. She was arrested for assault.
Oh, wow.
Now, had she, with the amount of anger she had in her voice, had she probably touched that woman, she would have harmed her. She would have absolutely harmed her. But she pulled back and she didn't. She didn't. She called the police. The woman was arrested for assault. Yeah. And I'm glad she made the right choice, as difficult as it was in that exact moment. But how she would have reacted and would have probably determined what's going to happen for her children. Yeah. But this was a good topic today. I enjoyed it.
Yeah, me too. It was a good topic. It was interesting to hear. Even though I kind of figured or kind of knew your point of view already, it's interesting to hear it out loud.
Listen, I'm not a saint. I tell anybody I am not a saint. I'm not always been as mature as I am now. But as you mature and you go to situations, you know exactly what's important, what's not important, what you can walk away from. You just kind of know. And for my daughter that particular day, it was one of those moments where I could not picture 5 girls jumping on my child. I couldn't, just the idea of it just totally disgusted me. I was just so disgusted that something like that can potentially happen. Is what I just couldn't believe it. My kids don't bother nobody. Shoot. Like I don't bother nobody. We know how to mind our own business, please.
Yeah. No, yeah, you're absolutely right. And I'm telling you, boy, these kids, man, they'll be the ones that get us. Sometimes
jealousy.
Kids.
Some of these kids, boy, are so jealous these days. You got to be careful.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, that was a fantastic episode. But before we end it here, I want to just make sure that I announce that we have a book out. Well, it's really a journal, and it's called Straight Goals No BS. It's on Amazon.com. Go ahead and go check it out. You can download a sample, you can look at it and see what it's about. But we honestly have no doubt that this journal will help you guys as much as it has helped us obtain, one step closer to financial freedom. So if you do get it, download it, purchase the book. Let us know what you think of it. Let us know how your journey to financial freedom is, or how is it going, or how it has been once using the book. We'd love to hear your feedback, and hopefully you guys enjoy it. Okay, back to our regular scheduled program here. Don't forget to check out our other videos on our YouTube page and follow us on our social platforms. That's on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. We talk about a lot of stuff on there all the time. So we want to hear from our listeners. Like, share, comment, and subscribe. And we'll see you guys right here, same time, same place next week.